The Pittsburgh Steelers are about to break the NFL as a massive new report has just dropped revealing Omar Khan's master plan. And not only involves Aaron Rodgers, but it involves a wide receiver in this upcoming draft that changes everything going forward for this team, as he has made some very interesting comments. But not only that, folks, they are preparing for something huge, and we have a ton of updates to dive into. You're going to want to stay tuned because his comments change the outlook of the entirety of the Pittsburgh Steelers draft and offseason. But not only that, we also have some interesting notes surrounding the Steelers' pursuit of another player in the draft that you're going to want to stay tuned for, and a ton of other updates as we approach that aforementioned draft. But before we get into it, a quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Steelers content. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into it. We're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers and Makai Lemon, as Makai Lemon came out today and spoke out and was asked to name 3 NFL QBs that he'd like to play with, and he listed Steelers quarterback, which is funny because he's not officially re-signed, so he's technically a free agent, but Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He's a GOAT. He's a legend, and this has obviously taken over the media a little bit with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fans are starting to speak about it now. The Steelers have the 21st pick in the draft, and I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for them to draft a wide receiver, and Makai Lemon is at the very top of that list. And folks, I absolutely love this idea. We're going to dive into some reports about Aaron Rodgers and things like that in a minute. But again, he said that he wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. Now, Nick Farabaugh reports that the Steelers have had formal interviews and formal meetings / workouts with the following wide receivers. Most of them of note are Makai Lemon, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, and KC Conception. So those are the 3 or 4 that are the most notable. Again, the top 2 though, Makai Lemon, Carnell Tate, and Jordan Tyson. I've covered a couple of those guys in the past. Makai Lemon is my guy that the Steelers, in my mind, should be going out and pursuing, especially given the fact that he's openly, again, he's trying to get drafted at the highest pick possible, so he's going to say everything he can to kind of, suck up to a degree. I'm not saying that he's doing it here. Obviously, a young player like Makai Lemon is going to want to play with someone who he grew up watching, which was Aaron Rodgers. But you look at Makai Lemon last year, and he put up almost 1,200 yards, good for 11 touchdowns, and the Steelers all of a sudden, after multiple reports kind of revealing that they're going after Aaron Rodgers, right? It seems to be Aaron Rodgers or bust for the Steelers at this point, though there is a guy who they might be looking at in the draft, potentially draft, but Makai Lemon and Aaron Rodgers, that'd be a fantastic duo. And if you look at the offseason and you can fix kind of 2 holes with 1 stone there, I love it. I love it. Makai Lemon is an elite wide receiver. Now, will he fall to 21? That's a big question. He obviously has some weaknesses in his game. There's a reason he's not going top 5 or top 10. But for a Steelers team that has an unbelievable amount of weakness at the wide receiving position outside of DK Metcalf, it seems like a match made in heaven. And especially for a guy who's coming out and saying he'd like to play with Aaron Rodgers. And if you've been following the channel for a while, the Steelers have been linked to Makai Lemon for a while now, and go on to say that the analyst behind Lemon's 21st overall pick to the Steelers comes from the Steelers' need for another wide receiver, and noting that Lemon could be the answer to their receiving troubles. It would not have been a surprise if Makai Lemon has been taken much earlier, but his availability is Pittsburgh's gain in this instance. He is an incredible, fantastic compliment to DK for whatever quarterback empowers, and we've been hearing multiple reports recently that the Steelers, again, they're all in on Aaron Rodgers, and you look at their current wide receiving core. You have DK, you have no one else, really. Calvin Austin, free agent. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, free agent. Roman Wilson's not a free agent, but you're hoping that he's going to be able to become something. You can't slide him into the WR2 spot with Aaron Rodgers back and hope that you're going to win a bunch of games, right? You bring in a guy like Makai Lemon, who has experience being the number 1 option, of course, in college there, but mainly, or at least one of the number 1 options, and let him kind of be groomed into that WR2. And he has the ceiling of a WR1. Don't get it twisted. I mean, look at his impact that he's had from his rookie year, sophomore, freshman. I mean, he went from 88 yards all the way up to 764, all the way up to 1156. And if some of that can translate to the NFL level, you'll be in very, very good shape. And that, again, it'd be a perfect kind of, I think it would break the NFL here, to be quite honest. You have Aaron Rodgers coming back, already has some chemistry with DK Metcalf and others. You have him mentoring a young wide receiver in Makai Lemon. Obviously, you have DK Metcalf also able to mentor Makai Lemon, though who knows how good of a mentor he is. Then all of a sudden, you have a very, very good core now. You have your quarterback, and he's not a part of the core. Aaron Rodgers would be a 1-year deal, probably 10, 15 million. But for next year, you have a wide receiving room you can go with. Now, a new report dropped from Tony Pauline saying that the sense around the combine is that the Steelers are banking on Aaron Rodgers returning. In fact, I'm told the only way Rodgers is not the starter in Pittsburgh this season is if he decides to retire. After a losing campaign, Rodgers signed with the Steelers. He then helped them, and he loved it. This is a pretty obvious report. The first part of it, obviously, Aaron Rodgers at this point, if he's coming back to the NFL, he's not going to go elsewhere. He's going to come to the Steelers or he's going to retire. And that's something that the Steelers are banking on, I think, him returning. Because again, if he returns, you can then lock in your draft and figure out, okay, let's draft a wide receiver. Because there's been some rumblings about the Steelers working out and, being intrigued rather in Ty Simpson and things like that, who's a quarterback who might make it the 21st pick. I'm assuming, and again, Omar came out recently and spoke out and kind of talked about how at this juncture, like Aaron Rodgers is on their radar. Sorry, not isn't, he is. And he is also going to be making his decision before the draft, ideally, so that they can figure it out. And I'm sure Rodgers could have some sort of say in maybe a wide receiver he wants to work with. And of course, Makai Lemon wants to work with Aaron Rodgers himself. Makes all the sense in the world, and things are lining up absolutely perfectly. You can see here from 21 hours ago, Bucky Brooks on Twitter has wide receiver Makai Lemon landing with the Steelers at number 21. If Rodgers sticks around, Pittsburgh could target a wide receiver to elevate a passing game built on short and intermediate throws. Lemon is a versatile playmaker who can win outside or in the slot at the pro level. You slide him in the slot, you have DK Metcalf, who can, obviously use his unbelievable physical abilities, burn guys downfield. The Steelers don't throw a lot of long balls anyway. We saw it briefly last year for part of it, but overall they don't throw many long balls. Give me Makai Lemon all day long in his final season against 79 receptions, good for 1,200 yards, and I'm absolutely excited. You can see under the development of Riley and inside receiver / tight end coach Chad Savage, the Trojans receiving group is in good hands, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens once Makai Lemon leaves the Trojans. But folks, I absolutely am over the moon about this, and to see, again, the draft, it's the Steelers, they can make a big splash here. And if you pair Aaron with Makai, let me know down below. Is that something you'd want to do, right? Because at the end of the day, they could also get Aaron Rodgers and pair him with, make a trade for Brian Thomas Jr. and give up assets. There's rumblings about them trading their first for Brian Thomas Jr. Would you rather them trade their first for Brian Thomas Jr., someone who had an 1,000-yard season at the NFL level? Or would you rather them kind of take a gamble on a guy like Makai Lemon, who's coming off of a fantastic year? Those are all important questions. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. A couple other notes here as well is that Carson Beck said he had a formal meeting with the Steelers and added it was great talking ball with Mike McCarthy, and it was one of the meetings that stood out to him. So he's obviously a quarterback. It's very notable here that the Steelers are obviously still meeting with quarterbacks, Ty Simpson as well, Carson Beck, but they're doing their due diligence. It seems, despite the atrocious report card as of late, and I'm not to say that these draft formal meetings will change anybody's opinion or even fans of the Steelers. It is good to see that Makai Lemon said he wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. It's not necessarily to say he wants to play with Pittsburgh, but he said he wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. And then other guys, like McCarthy being such a highly respected coach around the NFL. It's all good news. And as we approach the combine, it's going to be exciting to see what they do. Lock me in, folks, at Makai Lemon to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pair it with Aaron Rodgers. All of a sudden, your offseason's turn around. You have new coaching staff. It'll all be looking up. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are absolute beasts of the support. And we'll see you guys later. Cheers.